party wagon and hold on to your pizza. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Epic Tales from the Sewers, your source for the Last Ronin. Or at least I hope it is, But joining me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Eric Will.
How are you doing, Justin?
And I'm doing great. And since this is a Last Ronin episode, we have our returning guest host, which is Mr. Scott Cromer of Chrome Comics. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing good. Thanks. How you doing?
Fantastic. And that leads me to our next guest. I won't say our final guest because we have another guest that's coming on, but he is a returning member of our guest list. And he has a cover for Last Ronin #1 and 2 coming out for Last Ronin #5. Artist extraordinaire, Mr. Jason Flowers.
Hey guys, thanks for having me again.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, and we're happy to be talking some Ronin. We are slated now for, what is it, Eric, the 26th or the 27th of April?
27th of April, knock on wood. Hopefully it comes out on the 27th. If not, I got to go to a different comic place to get my comics.
Now, I did hear a story on this from our last guest, David Wynn, on why the Last Ronin was late. Are we allowed to tell that story?
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know if we should. I think we should just keep it on.
Okay, I heard that it had to do with just some of the artwork that was late for an undisclosed reason. So yeah, we know. If you're listening, we know.
Absolutely, we know.
And it was pushed back several weeks. I mean, we should have had it by now, I think, initially, but they're pushing this thing back. They want no issues with printers. They want no issues with quality, and it's going to be solid. And I'm excited. I have not seen another time, maybe since like 1987, with like the height of Turtle Mania, that Ninja Turtles has been the most important thing on everybody's mind. Including the year that the Batman movie came out. So it's like, that's not lost on me. This is huge.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. And I mean, Scott and I are huge Bat fans. So, even though you're like the biggest Joker fan that I know. And I mean, I know some big Joker fans, so that says a lot.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, when last we left off with this, we had a couple things going on. The Ronin is working with Casey Marie Jones in April, and they have Sal, who is the old Fugitoid head, and they're trying to go through and attack Roosevelt Island, where you have Baxter Stockman, and he is a mess when you see him. He's cyborg, much like the 2003 cartoon, where you see that, and he's just kind of like a head or anything left. He is just he looks terrible. If anyone knows the old Marvel character Silvermane, he kind of looks like that. So, and it's the Ronin. He's trying to direct Casey Marie Jones and everything else, and to get them through. And they show a flashback sequence of just what happened to Donatello and Splinter. So this was something that I think we all kind of came in prepared for because we saw the cover in advance. What did you guys think of that? What's your reaction to issue 4?
Good.
I was heartbroken.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. I was curious, on some of this, because Donnie's your guy, and you see Donnie, and it's very much the Mirage Donnie, who's actually Master Splinter tells him, no mercy, so he wants him to straight up kill guys. I don't see that as Donatello usually, maybe a vampire or a alien or something like that, but he doesn't usually kill ninjas and such.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that, in that scene there at the end for their final scene there in the graveyard, it was, they basically they never made it out, but they had a last stand, and it was either kill or be killed.
Mm-hmm.
So they did take out as many as they could. I was digging the decapitations by Splinter.
Oh man, he is brutal, right?
Yeah. Even going out like a boss.
Yeah, I mean that's a thing. It was very similar to your 300 with Leonidas. We'll block out the sun with our arrows, then we shall fight in the shade. Mm-hmm. That sort of thing. It was epic.
It was a way to go out. Definitely an epic way to go out.
What you guys? What did you think there, Jason?
I think it was probably probably the best of the death scenes that I felt. I felt a little cheated by like Raph's and Leo and Casey's, but I feel like going into
Eric agrees with you.
The Donnie and Splinter kind of last stand, like you guys just said, like, you know, if we're gonna die, let's go. Let's take as many with us, you know. And I think that was probably the best of the scenes I've seen so far. So I was very happy. Yeah, like Splinter just chopping heads off left and right, getting some Splinter action. It was kind of
yeah,
you know, like you don't get that much.
Yeah, that was cool
in the books.
Last time I really remember seeing that was in the Batman crossover, the second one where Splinter is fighting Bane. He's actually holding his own. He's doing really well against Bane until Bane drops the ceiling on him. Literally takes the ceiling down on top of Splinter. And then he's just no good to anybody. But yeah, and I mean, through all that, you don't see Splinter lopping heads off with a sword ever. So it's, yeah, I'm with you. Like, this is one of those things where you look at it and you're like, this is a legit martial artist. This is a guy who is formidable. You could put him up against anybody in, like, you know, Marvel or Valiant or Image or DC and be like, this guy is he's gonna stand and probably win. So just unfortunately not against a barrage of arrows, it looks like. So
I also thought it was like a really nice setting and environment. Like we got the beautiful like snow scene and like, you know, the cherry blossoms and then it was just like it felt like an old Japanese film, you know, and I feel like that's kind of what they were trying to go for.
Absolutely.
Like they're like perfect with it.
I love Ben Bishop's art there, where everything has such clean lines and it does play in well to kind of the flashback and when there's the snow. And I think this one does it better than issue 2 and 3. I think just a little bit better. I really did like what he did with the Raph stuff, just for like, oh, okay, here's what all the foot soldiers look like and here's Raph and like the character designs. But this one, just the way everything was plotted out, it was just great. I really like that. And what you're saying about the snow, I didn't even think about it until now, but it's, you know, you've got the red in the snow and all that. It's very kind of martial arts film.
Yeah.
What are you going to say, Eric?
Travis is trying to join right now.
Oh, gotcha. Our final guest has joined us, Mr. Travis Doss. We'll be on in just a second here. All right, just enough time for Eric to tell us what he thought of issue 4.
Yeah, issue 4. I mean, you know, like 3. You know, 3 was just one big old like kind of like confusing, but 4 was just so like I have to agree with everybody else. It was so clean. One of the biggest parts that I really liked was when Splinter threw the sword at.
At Hiroto.
Yeah, at Hiroto, and you know Hiroto was like pissed off and he was like he didn't care what, you know, what other sergeants he had or whatever, and was like telling him we need to back off, and he's like, no, it's like I'm gonna kill you with this blade that you threw at me and all this other stuff. You know, I have to agree with Jason Flowers. I mean, we got cheated on Leo, Casey, and obviously Raphael on the death of that, so it's just, you know, I mean, between 1 and 4 are like my 2 favorite issues. I mean, they were really done well. I mean, the story was easy to go with. It flowed very well. The art, of course, is always beautiful. So,
and it's funny that you mentioned issue 1 as a favorite too, because this has action from, you know, Mikey as the Ronin, where issue 1 was all that. And we're just like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is it? You know, this one has that same sort of hooded character who's out there larger than life, beating the crap out of people. And it's like, that's really kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. I got the action.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's just a lot of action. And that's what I like.
Travis, we were just talking about what your opinions were of book 4 for The Last Ronin. So just if you have a reaction.
On book 4, I kind of like how Casey Marie and Mikey, how they kind of came together. He's going to train her. And then when they get into the battle, it's like, need you to stay here. But she's like, hard-headed, like Casey. Don't listen. Ends up helping him out because he was going to get, I forget, he's fighting, and I think he was getting hit from behind or getting ready to, and she comes and bails him out, it was a pretty cool scene. And then, with April coming into battle, with that huge, truck, or I forget
the
what
show razor. Let's just say the show razor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was kind of I like that moment of him, and then he tells a story about what happened between Donnie and Splinter, which I think issue 4 is really good. I'm really ready for issue 5.
Oh yeah,
which is
definitely.
a couple weeks away. Yeah, so I just like how Casey Marie is so hard-headed. Just I like it. I like how they introduced her and everything.
She's great. Yeah, and we get the little info drop there where Ronin has evolved. It's been 30 something years, and he's mutated to a point where it's like he's well past where he was as a teenager. And April suggests that their years of being so close to the turtles and probably getting their blood and tears on them and all that kind of stuff, she's actually mutated too. And Ronin knows this. Mikey knows this, and he's like, I can tell. How come you didn't even say anything? She's got enhanced abilities and all that. So
her healing and stuff.
Yeah, enhanced healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting too that they're going that route. I wonder what's that?
I said that was a big reveal.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
thought he was April O'Neil was injecting her with that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he is also crazy. Like he's not right in the head.
Super paranoid.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we can see his inner chorus. Like we can see when he's talking to ghosts, where you get that in this sort of medium. You don't necessarily get that otherwise, but like he's cuckoo. So it's going to be interesting to see where they take that and what's going to happen. I think this was the book that I was mentioning before. I don't know, Travis, did you get this one, which is the Design Archive?
No, I did not.
So this was pretty interesting. It's Last Ronin Design Archive, another $8.99 book, But the cool thing about it is this goes through a lot of the notes and the plottings that are in there for The Last Ronin. And it's all Kevin Eastman artwork. And it goes through starting out with the original idea for the Ronin, what the costume's going to look like, a breakdown of his gear. And I am just geeky enough to really love that. And that's pretty cool. And I wonder if this would be something that would be helpful for you, Jason, like as you're drawing him in the future or anything like that. Like, oh, that's what that looks like.
Would have been helpful for those past covers, because like I looked at some of that going, oh, like there's all this stuff, and when you would Google it, there's just like a couple of things. Like there's that one that has the page full of his gear, but there's a lot of stuff in these that are just insane details.
Well, you nailed the goggles, man. That's the cool thing, And did they tell you they would be red?
I think from just some of the photos that they had shown of that Kevin had posted, that's what most everybody went off of.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Just those.
It's fun, and it seems like almost like a Batman cartoon where he has to use something one time so they can make an action figure of it. So they have to show the Ronin wearing the goggles at least one time. Or maybe that's more of a Star Wars thing, where it's like, oh, it's Han Solo and he's in a new coat, Maybe that's more Star Wars than anything else.
Who did it better? Yeah.
Malibu Stacy in her new hat.
Star Wars or Batman?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're both from Kenner, so they had that toy company behind them.
Yeah, pushing the toys.
But one of the things that I wanted to talk about in this one is, besides the idea that they have all of the character breakdowns, like the evolution of Casey Marie Jones, and just it even talks about stuff like giving her a mask that looks very similar to Dick Grayson for Robin. But
Mhm.
it shows all the villains that they're fighting. Hiroto's personal elite, Captain Futica, who did not end up so well.
Was he
Sinja,
the
they're
guy
calling
that
him.
ended up on the spike
Yeah,
in the first
female
issue?
robot.
I believe it is.
That's nice.
Bring me his head on a pike.
I'm glad to see him in there.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of a push there. And we've got Sinja, the ninja foot robot female, that
Mhm.
assassin grade and Sinja foot level elites. And then let's see. This one is the battle wagon is what they're calling it. That's the thing that April
Battle
shows up
wagon.
as. Man, is
Yeah.
that cool. It's sick. And it does. It looks just like the Shell Razor from the cartoon. But just such an extravagant breakdown. I mean, he's got like Roosevelt Island. He drew the whole island, like the city and all that. He drew Manhattan, all of the stuff that he did for like this preliminary work. And you're just like, holy crap. And there's so much here. It looks like the primer for like a Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. I mean, even to the point where he's like, oh, check it out. Casey Marie's costume. She's got hands with brass knuckles built in and with a metal hand wrap for striking. I'm like, that's super specific.
Her
then,
mask. Only thing reminds me of Robin.
Exactly. That's what he's saying here. He's saying, let's see, short haircut, looks like Dick Grayson. So with the mask on. And some cool little Easter eggs that he does too. Like he'll show 6 feet tall for the turtle, and then next to it, just for the giant Krang there.
Mm-hmm.
And this was really fun. Like we didn't get to talk about this much because this came out after issue number 4, but just like some really, really fun stuff. It does go into like the character design for the turtles, and
between
there's
Ben
a
Bishop and
bunch
Kevin.
in here.
Yeah.
I
You can tell it's Bishop's
the
Leo.
Leo design was cool.
What was that about Ben?
The Leo that you showed, I'm pretty sure that's Ben's art.
Yep.
On the Leo one.
Yeah, up top. Yeah.
His turtles are so like you can just tell when he draws them.
He's got the whole issue on the back here for the part of number 2 and 3, because it's 3 because it shows Baxter and all that, and then it shows the Escarosa art. So, and the funny thing about the Escarosa art is that it looks so different every time you see a different character. Like Hiroto looks so different in this art style, and then when you see the Ronin, you're sure who it is. But then I see someone like April, and I'm like, is this a different artist? Like it's really kind of interesting the way that they do it. I like it. It reminds me of like Image Comics from the 90s, like Eric Larson style with Savage Dragon kind of. You guys all familiar with those?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Savage Dragon.
Yeah, I'm like, you must have drawn him like once or 1,000 times. Oh yeah, so you've got that's pretty fun. Now, we were talking about covers, variant covers for this one. I asked Eric before about this, and he says that there are currently 59 different variant covers.
For
now, yeah, they'll change, and there's some other ones like I know for
second, third, fourth printing.
Yes, and for the first one, I got one of those sets from the San Diego Comic-Con. That was the connecting Kevin Eastman one. That was the first new cover to issue number 1 that wasn't a third or fourth printing. So that was pretty fun. But I know 9 of these are coming from our friend Jozar, right? Because I've ordered probably 16, I think, covers. What about you guys? Who are you looking forward to besides Mr. Jason Flowers, who I absolutely pre-ordered my cover from? So yeah, I'm getting that one. I saw it came up, and I'm like, I am not missing this one. So
almost issue 7.
You, Eric, you're the variant cover king here. So
I mean,
who you getting?
I just know how to get them. I know how to get them from people. Get them for people. I mean, I got Mike Bruce, and I got Bart Leans, and I got Alan Quays as well. I mean, it's just so many. I'm not even gonna lie. I got so much money tied up in other things right now. It's just like I'm done right now with trying to get variants. But they're like, I really want to get Jason's homage to issue 7. I gotta have the homage to 7 because I got the Mirage 7. I gotta have that one at some point. It's just there's just so many of them that is just like, I don't have enough money for all these.
Yeah,
So.
I totally understand that. There's one that really stuck out to me because it's different than the other ones, and I'm gonna see if I can pull it up who I pre-ordered it from. And I just like this one, and it is, where are you at? It's the one with like the three faces on it. If you've seen it,
Oh yeah,
like
April, the Ronin, and
Yep.
it's the
and Casey Marie.
Yeah, the one-stop shop.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, I pre-ordered that one. I had to have that one.
There it is. It is.
I don't know. That's one of my favorite covers. Version 5 that I've seen. I like that a lot.
Trying to see who it is, but I have the picture up here. It says Mike Chrome exclusive. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. And the coolest thing about this, I think, is that you see April, and you've never seen April this old before, and they really sell that, and that's kind of cool. It's one of the starker things about it. And Casey Marie Jones has like these really piercing green eyes, and I'm like, this is cool. I just really enjoyed that one. So that's one of the 16 or what have you, and I think I got the Ben Bishop one. I have the there's a Bish Kids exclusive that was it's like pixelated a little bit. I think it's from was this one from Ethan?
Noah, isn't it? Noah?
Noah. It's from Noah. Yep. Noah.
Oh, yeah.
No, so
Yeah, it's completely pixelated because he can't really show you the cover yet because it will kind of tell
reveal too much for issue 5.
Yep. That's why it's really pixelated like that.
I would say normally, how is he getting the information? But literally, he sold through Ben Bishop's website, so clearly he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why
he sold his soul to Ben. I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. I did pick up the 9-pack of covers, and I forget how much I dropped on this, but 9-pack. One of them's from artist Jason Fabach, who did the 3 Jokers last year. So I absolutely had to get that one. And you guys may love him, you guys may hate him. Rob Liefeld's first time ever drawing Ninja Turtles. He has a cover for The Last Ronin. That is huge. Right? That is huge. He does not show feet. Absolutely. There are no feet. There are plenty of pouches. There are no feet on it. But I met Liefeld. I like Liefeld. I don't think he's the greatest artist of all time, but I think what he does really well. He drew one of my all-time favorite pictures of Wolverine, and I told him that. And he's like, "Oh, wow, really?" And actually, there are feet in the picture. So, but you know, I'm super excited about this. Like, just pulling some of these people out. Steve Levine, you know, the guy that did the cover for the Ninja Turtles arcade Nintendo game. Right? He's drawing a cover for this. Like, there's some people that are literally coming out of the woodwork now to get in on this. Excited. Scott, you must have some that you pre-ordered.
To be honest with you, I think I've ordered a couple, but I couldn't name any off the top of my head.
No, I had D. Georginas this one. Right, Eric? I didn't think he had one.
The Jordans.
I haven't seen any from him. I'll tell you, with all the delays, the delays has kind of made me why I haven't really pursued any of the variants yet, because I'm like, I got time.
Did you end up getting any of the ones that you had graded?
I did send. I sent one down to get them all signed by the team down there.
Oh, good.
It was in issue 1. I can't remember I couldn't tell you what the variant is. You'll have to wait till I get it back.
I keep looking. Like, I check eBay like almost daily just to see if I can get a hold of one of Jason's covers. And the only one they have on there is a 9.9 graded for $700.
Yeah.
Every single time. And I'm like, you know,
and
I go over to Mercari. They have one for $90 non-graded. And I'm like, but it says sold. Damn it.
Yeah, I saw one that I sold a couple of months ago or something that was on eBay. That was just by itself, and I can't remember how much it went for, but yeah, I saw that. And then there's the 9.9, and then a buddy of mine got a 10 back.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's so great. Did you at least get to keep one for yourself?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got a couple
Good.
for myself.
Good.
So
You want to get rid of one?
Played. Got it displayed next to the original art. So I was smart and I kept the art for that one. So
Good for you, man.
yeah.
I mean, that's something that it's like you're gonna basically just have an investment in that down the road if you're like, you know what, I don't think I need this anymore. But
right.
I mean, you might want to just hold on to it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, or maybe you get sick of it and you're just like, I can draw this anytime I want. You know, who knows?
Well, what I'm waiting for now is that new NECA figure that they came out with. I pre-ordered that. So once that comes in, I'm gonna, since it's so articulated, I'm gonna pose it just like my photo. So I'm gonna have them next to each other. So it looks
You get
cool.
some toothpicks for arrows and all that.
Yeah.
Some you can make some isomalt for broken glass.
I've been looking into like making little displays and stuff, you know, like those little background displays people make for some of their figures.
Oh yeah, little backdrops. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I've been eating that up lately online. So
there was a guy at C2E2 that did this, and like his stuff was not fancy, right? Like he'd have Iron Man and he'd have something that looks like molten vault or something like that, like he's breaking into a building and he like melted it with his lasers and all that. It was really crude, but his idea was absolutely sound. Take an action figure and put it in a little diorama so you can hang it up on your wall. He was selling like gangbusters. And I cannot tell you as much as like how like they were cheesy. They were not done well, but his idea was so good that people were just eating it up.
Yeah, they look fun. Like I watch videos all the time. It looks expensive to do, but
yeah,
it's, you know, just a little hobby. Maybe we'll see.
I think that'll be cool. That'll be cool to see too. How about you, Travis? Have you pre-ordered any of these covers, any of the variants?
Oh yeah, I got the one you was talking about with the 3 split.
Yep,
got that one. Aaron's, order his. Ruth, order his.
Yeah, actually, I got to get his. Thanks for reminding me.
His, I ordered Miko.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes, order a couple of his as well because I love his work. I'm pretty sure there's a couple more that I ordered that I just kind of forgot about.
Is there any artists like that you found them through Ninja Turtles or that you found them through the Last Ronin that you're going to follow afterwards? How about that? We'll start with you, Travis.
Miko was one of them actually. He just released some like Spider-Man and Venom covers the other day. Killed it. His work is so clean. I don't know, just something about his work that I like his work a lot. Ben's actually I like Ben's a lot too. I like the way his turtles are so just, they're really different, and I don't know, it's hard to say the way his style. I just like his style like this.
I absolutely understand. Yeah,
the style is unique to me. But like Miko's, his is more of more of like a darker glory kind of style to me. The way he does things is really just raw looking. So I really like his work a lot.
He did some awesome work on a book called Bloodshot Salvation, where Jeff Lemire did all the writing for it, and it's a Valiant book, right? Bloodshot came out, you know, I saw it, Vin Diesel, right? This was like maybe a year or two before that. So maybe even a year before that. So maybe 2 years before the movie came out or something. But it's all set up in like flashbacks. And there was part of the book that was drawn by another person and part that was drawn by Miko. The Miko stuff is just like, it's crazy. It was like hauntingly gorgeous. It was all black and white with the exception of their eyes and the dot on their chest that were red. And it was a story about Bloodshot's daughter who inherited like a whole bunch of his powers and stuff like that. And then, you know, being chased by like the government and stuff. It was awesome. And now to see that he's going on and there's like Marvel books and stuff like that. I'm just glad that other people are catching on to his work because it's so good. It's like neo-realistic and yeah, it's pretty
very
cool.
realistic. Yes.
How about you, Scott? Anybody that The Last Ronin has led you to as like an artist or creator?
Well, what's his name? Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Yeah, I kind of picked up through. I found out about him through the Last Ronin covers he did. And then I started seeing him do like, doing other work and stuff. But besides him, a lot of the other people I was already familiar with.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Eric, I know what your answer is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm learning about a bunch of new artists throughout the whole process, but one that I got attached to was Mike Ruth, as most of you all know. I became not just a customer to his work, but he's also just talking to him as a person. He's just real genuine, and I'm actually following his work after the Ronin. The Dodge comic that's coming out, issue 3, which I'm the Kickstarter's at right now, which I've already supported for. That's probably one guy I probably follow for a long time. But I mean, there's a lot of artists out there that are they're all good. They're all good. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them.
I know, right?
It's crazy because it's just like there's just so many good artists. I mean, we got one on here right now as we speak, and it's. I'm not a millionaire. I can't buy all their stuff. It's just like it's like pick and choose with all these different artists, and all of them have their own styles, their own, perception on how they want their turtles to look. Jason has his own way, Aaron has his own way, Ruth has his own way, Ben has his own way. Everybody has their own different way, and each way is unique. And me personally, I think it's awesome because it shows their creativity.
My answer would obviously be Jason is someone that I discovered through the Last Ronin, and I'm super looking forward to your next book for Bounty Bullfrog. I really am digging the like the underwater scene in this that I've been seeing, and just like he's cool, and I like how you described him, as a character that's kind of like somewhat based on Lobo. And by the way, guys, today is Simon Bisley's birthday, so happy birthday, Simon Bisley. So but kind of like that, and that ties into things too, because there's a new cartoon that's going to be coming out based on Kevin Eastman and Simon Biz. So that'll be fun, and I think he actually has a cover of Last Ronin. But
yeah, that looks sick.
Yeah, that's going to be just.
Awesome.
I haven't seen like I can't even remember the last cover that I've seen that wasn't like a heavy metal cover that has Simon Bisley, But I'm sure it was brutal, and it was probably Lobo or something. But it's just really cool. But I'm with you, Eric, because I'm a big fan of Mike Ruth. Getting to talk to a lot of these guys like Bartling, and seeing how he's working on the other stuff, and like Freddie Williams, like what he's doing. When he started out, he was doing like Turtles Universe, and he did the Batman crossover. Now he's doing Power Rangers meets Godzilla, which is no small undertaking, because I imagine having to detail Godzilla must be so annoying, just like every little ridge and bump and all that. But like Miko's great, Dieter Genus, and I'm excited to just see like who is going to come out of this, and just like if they're going to start getting more work and things. How about you, Jason? Is there anybody that's impressed you, or anybody that maybe you're like, oh man, I should do my stuff like them, or I don't know. What do you think?
No.
Okay, so no one's jumped out yet.
Only because I'm so familiar with a lot of them, like you guys already said. Like I know a lot of them, and there's a bit of them also are just cover artists, and I love cover artists, and I love that stuff, but I want more like interior work. So like I try to dive for the ones that do interior work too, so that way like I can read and follow their styles and stuff, like Bisley or Eastman or Ben. Or
I always think of guys like Dan Jurgens. He's just as good on a cover as he is doing sequential art. It's like a machine, like George Perez. Where it's like you look at this and you're like, this could be a panel inside it. It's just that good.
Right.
I'm with you on that. because that's a thing unto itself. And I know the money is there in the covers as opposed to doing the sequentials, just like if you were to probably break it down. So, hopefully people have, partners in their life where it's like they can pay the bills and the medical expenses. And
Yeah, I love seeing the interiors more, just as much as the covers. Like there's so many great people who are doing covers for these books, and they're beautiful. But like when I look up some of them, like I'm not seeing interior stuff, and that's just me, like that's what I'm into. Like I'm into like the interior aspect of the books too. So because without the interior artists, we wouldn't have this comic that you're holding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I'll give you a great example of this too. Like Alex Ross, fantastic painter and all that, revolutionized stuff when it comes to that. Have you guys ever read Universe X? And I'm assuming that you've seen this one, Scott, right?
Okay.
Beautiful covers, beautiful character designs by Alex Ross. You get inside and it is like the biggest bait and switch of all time. You look at the interiors and you're like, I was expecting Alex Ross,
Yeah.
He designed a lot of that stuff. Now his Kingdom Come stuff.
Oh, that Kingdom Come is the greatest. Yeah. I love it. I have a Kingdom Come statue.
What was the Marvel ones he did before?
Marvels.
The Marvels, yeah.
Yep.
Those were beautiful.
That's like a 2-year project for someone to like go through and do that, because I think he uses, I don't know if it's like lucite or something, like some sort of like special thing that he uses for paint. Then he'll like actually cover it over. I guess he does jam pieces, and he yells at the guys who come behind him not to touch his stuff. He's got like a special piece of like cellophane that he puts over it. So yeah, it's interesting. It's funny. I've never seen Alex Ross do anything with turtles, but maybe just because it doesn't fit that sort of mold. But he could.
He heavily photo references like everything. Like he'll take photo shoots of most of his panels and stuff. So
it's cool. His
I'd
dad,
love to see him doing some Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
those costumes.
Oh, absolutely.
Reference shots.
and his father was the model for Norman McKay, who was the main character of Kingdom Come. So I just thought that was great. A little way to kind of bring your family into it. I have his book. It's called Mythology. It's pretty neat. So yeah. And I had a conversation with Mark Waid about Kingdom Come, and then we'll get off Kingdom Come. But Kingdom Come is very similar to Ronin. I'll put it that way. But I had a conversation with Mark Waid, and I asked him about some of the characters and why some of the characters appear and why some of them don't. He said, I didn't write all the characters. Pretty much, I just said, these are the people I want to use. And then everything else was just whoever Alex connected with. Because I'm a big fan of Booster Gold. And I'm like, well, how come Booster Gold's not in this? And he's like, well, that was up to Alex. He could put him in or not, which would have been fun. So I don't know.
You would have liked to seen him there.
They joked that he was the manager of the restaurant in like the audio play. When they did that, they joked that Booster was managing, was it called Planet Krypton?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, it's not actually canon. That's just in the audio drama. So,
right.
Yeah. But I like that Jason brought up about the action figures that are coming out, because I did not. I honestly, and I mean, I'm on record for saying this, I did not think that they were going to capitalize at all. And I was absolutely wrong on this. So now we've got 2 different companies that are releasing Last Ronin action figures. We've got a Diamond Select sort of PVC plastic statue. We've got the Sideshow statue that they're releasing. 2 different versions, one with the 3 ghosts and one without it. I am getting the one with 3 ghosts. So, and let's see. Yeah. And then 2 different versions of the NECA. Right. Mm-hmm. So they've got him with his hood and his cloak, and then they've got him without his hood and his cloak, just kind of standing there with just his belt and a loincloth and pants. So
yeah.
Playmates has one coming out too.
Yeah, Playmates is the one that has the Ben Bishop art on it. And that one was the character design was from Michael Dooney, which I was super excited to see, because he is like my number 1 favorite Turtles artist. So I've got him, if you guys can see, I've got his work up here. So I met him and it was just so much fun. I think he thought that I was working for the con at the time when I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? Because I was an exhibitor there, and I'm like, hey, just wanted to come by and say hi. And he's like, oh, great, can you tell me about this? I'm like, yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah, hope he's not still looking for that form. So, but yeah, I pre-ordered that one too because the box is absolutely gorgeous. You know, it's got that Ben Bishop cover with the Ronin, and it's all red and black, and I think it's going to be a great looking figure. It looks like it's super posable, but that NECA one, it looks like it's jumped off the page.
Yeah,
and it's just like, wow,
Dead
this
on.
is such a great translation from, you know, like just into a figure. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting two of them, I think, because I just I don't know. We'll probably do like a giveaway or something like that with one of them, but it's gorgeous, you know. And yeah, so I'm gonna have like a whole section of my house now that's dedicated to the Last Ronin because I didn't think anything was coming out.
I don't know how true it is, but I heard that NECA's agreed to make like a whole line of
Yes.
Last Ronin figures. I don't know how true it is, but you know, I totally see that, you know, with the Raph and Leo and Casey, Donnie and Splinter and Casey Marie and April. Oh, like the April would be cool with the arm. Maybe
yeah, that would be great. Now, did you guys see on Instagram they have like 3D printers and all that have made like the Raph and the Leo? Those are great, and a lot of these customs, man. The customs are great too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So most of us have kids. I think all of us have kids, right? Your kids into Last Ronin at all? Do they understand the importance of it? My kids are sick of hearing about it for sure. Like,
my kids are happy to hear about anything other than Batman.
That is fair. That is, again, knowing you like I know, you know, yeah. I'm sure you were also there day one to watch the Batman. So because I was there.
So it came out on Friday. I was there on Wednesday.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw it 2 days early.
That's great. That's great. I liked it for the record. I'm just saying. So I don't know did you guys get to see it yet?
No, I want to though. I do.
It's gonna be on HBO.
It is
2 weeks, so I'm just like,
yeah,
no spoilers.
And Travis, you haven't seen it yet?
Not yet, no.
I'll tell you the thing about seeing it, and you can confirm this, Scott. Don't get the large drink if you go to see it because it is like as long as Endgame. It seems like it's just super long.
I heard it's like a 3-hour movie.
It is an unapologetically 3-hour movie, and you're like, could we do an intermission? I mean,
I've heard great things.
I liked it. Yeah,
I have too. I heard it was really good.
There's a lot of elements to it that really bring home things like the Ronin and just like the city and kind of like when he's like looking and brooding over stuff on top of buildings and all that. It really reminded me of that. But it also really reminds me of the animated series, which is I think what we were all kind of hoping it would do. So, and that's fun. I don't know. And who knows what's happening too, because I hear, like, since we were talking about like the Ronin getting its own line, I hear that we may get a follow-up series, like a Casey Marie Jones series or something like that.
Excuse me.
I've heard there's spin-offs. I mean, it being so successful, you can't not have spin-offs. Plus, there's so much plot holes with Mikey's storyline that just I need to know like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And here's a question. Do you think if they do something like that, if they dive into what happened afterwards, is that going to be drawn and plotted by Kevin, do you think? Or is that going to be something where they get another artist in on that?
I mean, I think Tom and Kevin will probably like loose something out and then Tom or both would probably do something.
Maybe like the micro series.
I don't see them really like handing that off to like some random person. So
no, I'm with you. They're not going to give it to like Justin Roiland and be like, "Hey, here you go."
Especially with how successful it's been, because it's not like it's why stop now?
And it's not over by a long shot, I think.
Yeah.
The way it's mimicking like Dark Knight Returns a lot, like if you follow those books, there's 2 sequels after that. So
There's always more story.
yeah.
But there's one sequel after that? What? No, wait, there's no sequels after that? That's what I'm hearing? Oh, no. Actually, look, I liked the second one. It got a little weird at times, but I really liked the art, and I liked some of the aspects, like when Hal Jordan showed up and stuff like that. I have not read the third sequel, the Master Race. I actually heard it was pretty decent. No?
I read. I didn't read 2, but the third one, if memory serves me correctly, what some of the ideas in that one were really cool.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I think it's like Andy Kubert was doing the art for it, which was like a different.
That one. Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm an Andy Kubert guy. I love the X-Men in the '90s. Yeah, like I could get in on this. So it just hasn't hit me where it's like you need. And I do a Batman podcast, so it's like we haven't gotten to that yet. So. Like we'll get to it, I'm sure. You got to cover the big ones first, like Gotham by Gaslight, and we did Noel and stuff like that. So it's we'll work our way there. So
Lee Bermejo's probably like my favorite. Him and Kelly Jones.
Oh my god, they're like, hell yeah, dude! I got Kelly Jones. They got a Kelly Jones Batman tattoo.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, Kelly Jones he's such a nice guy, and he's like one of the best Batman artists for me.
I love Kelly Jones' work. Absolutely. I was thinking, I just found this. You guys, it's crazy that you said that because I just found I had a comic.
Lee Bermejo, he's been doing the variants on Detective Comics for like, I don't know, the last at least 12 issues, I think. And they're all gorgeous. Like his work is just outstanding.
He's stunning. His stuff is stunning. I've been following him since his Wildstorm days. Actually,
oh yeah,
I've got a Lee Bermejo original from Wildcats right there.
That's so great.
His Death Blow Batman. Check that out. That's really
that's a great book too. I mean, it's not one that's like super memorable, like canon wise, like the Spawn one, but it's a great story. And it's beautiful.
Thick. It's just so good. And then when he did the Joker one and then Noel, like, oh man, like that.
His Joker is what gave Heath Ledger that sort of juice to choose his character. So yeah, I'd love to see him doing some Turtle stuff
right after. I feel like that was the follow up to The Dark Knight because that book came out in 2008, right after the Dark Knight came out.
Oh, the Azzarello book?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was done before, but I mean, you're the expert on this more than I am. So.
It definitely came out after because I read it as like the follow up, like him getting out of Arkham.
Oh, that's cool. Well, at least they didn't kill him. I'll show you this. This doesn't mean as much to people who can't see because obviously this is an audio podcast. But I was going through my comic books looking at stuff, and I found I've got this copy of Batman 497. Right. And it's the breaking of the bat, right? Kelly Jones artwork and all that. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, I paid $3 for this back in the day. And I have 2 copies. I'm like, what the heck? I got 2 copies. So I look and I'm like, I didn't even realize I have a copy signed by Jim Aparo. So Jim Aparo was the writer, or was the artist for the interiors for Batman. Sorry, Chuck Dixon was the writer during this period. But Jim Aparo was my neighbor in Connecticut. He actually lived in Cheshire, Connecticut, and he came into the local comic book store, just signed a bunch of comics and just put them back. So I didn't even realize that I bought it. I'm like, holy crap, I got a signed comic from Jim Aparo. So, and that's just beautiful, Bane on there just wrecking Batman and that Kelly Jones art. So it's pretty fun.
My first Kelly Jones book, I remember those covers, but my first Kelly Jones book was Batman vs. Dracula. And
that would be great.
That was it for me. Like
mine was Crimson Mist.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the follow-up. Actually, the third follow-up or second follow-up, however you want to.
Yeah, because Red Rain was the sequel, and then
and then Crimson Mist was the third.
Yeah, the third one's just crazy. Like he's just eating people left and right. It's just awesome.
I remember getting that, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" But I love it.
yeah. I was just like, he's like, "Oh, Penguin, Killer Croc, he's a vampire guy then."
Awesome. Like it was just great.
Yeah,
so that's a direction that these guys should go in. We haven't seen. I mean, that's kind of like the urban legends was kind of like that with stuff, but we haven't really seen like straight up vampire turtles, not since like the 2012 cartoon that you and I were talking about, Eric. Like there's we could see like some Kelly Jones with like some really cool dark covers and all that. And since they have like they just did like for October what was it, issue like 123 or something? No, it was probably before that, but the issue that they did with like all the turtles that were dressed up in like the Halloween costumes, the Universal Monster one.
Yeah, Jeremy Clark did that one.
Yeah, so maybe that's the next one.
Like Raymond Gay. Raymond Gay was the penciler, and Jeremy inked. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think you're right, because Gay had some really good covers, and I think there were a lot of Easter eggs on those. So, but maybe that's the next direction that they should go into, taking some sort of like we haven't seen this yet, and be like, hey, here, this is another thing like Ronin. It's going to be a lot more grown up. It's not going to be canon. And this is what it would look like if one of the turtles did this. And then you can try to figure out who it is, again. It will recreate the whole cycle.
They had a one-shot issue that came out probably around like issue 30 or 40, I want to say. Maybe sooner than that. But it was like around the whole Dark Leo phase.
Oh, yeah.
Where like all the brothers were like hypnotized like Dark Leo was, and it was like Splinter and Casey and April, and they were just a couple of them left who were trying to stop them and stuff. Like it was a one shot. Zach Howard drew it.
Oh, no kidding!
Really awesome. It's beautiful art.
That would be in probably the third or the fourth hardcover if anyone's listening is keeping track. So around there, I was a big fan of the Infestation 2. If anybody had checked that out, that was in between like issue 6 and 7. It was a company-wide crossover, and I mean they had like My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, Transformers. Everybody had this arc.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Ghostbusters had one, which is really cool. And the cool thing about this book is that it looked like Mike Mignola art. So it looked like Hellboy, but it was the Turtles, like with all the use of like negative space and darkness and stuff like that. Super gritty. Like they're stabbing stuff like crazy. It's like, wow. And it was a great story. It was just like a 2-issue miniseries that's just like kind of like in between issue 6 and 7. Really fun. So you can actually listen to the full issue in one of our episodes. So I think it's like episode 9. So, but yeah, that's a pretty fun one. So,
was that part of the X-Files one, or was the X-Files crossover separate?
That is a separate thing all to itself.
Okay.
So, but X-Files also did have an Infestation crossover as well.
Okay. But yeah, they had a Turtle X-Files one that I thought was kind of cool.
That is so far the comic book that I've spent the most money on ever. So I bought, there's a 1 to 25 variant cover, like a retail exclusive cover, and it's got it looks like the X-Files with like Leonardo on the cover, and it looks like
autopsy kind of thing.
Yeah, like Weekly World News or something like that. I had to have that. So
yeah, it's a good cover. So
if you guys have ever wondered what I spent my money on when the government sent me that big check, that is what that was. So
I think we all splurged a little bit. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he funded my Ronin collection. So, Travis, in terms of like, because this is your first time here, first time on the show. I know you listen to the show and all that. What are you looking forward to for issue number 5? Is there like a certain plot thread that you want picked up? Everything in nice, tight little bow would be nice, but like, what do you think you're going to see versus what do you want to see? Like anything like that.
Oh man, I have no clue on that.
So you want to be surprised?
I definitely want to be surprised. I mean, I don't know. I feel like something crazy is going to happen. Like with I thought Casey Marie's already has mutants in her. Are they gonna make her some type, where she evolves into an actual turtle? Like, I don't know.
Oh, like a Jenica sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah, but it'd be so like I was always like, it always ponders in my head, like, wonder if they're gonna do something with her where she like but it already happened, so the chances are it probably won't happen. But I thought that would be kind of cool. Would be kind of out there though, so I doubt it happens. But I don't know, that crosses my mind. I'd like to see that happen, but it probably won't. But I don't know. I feel like if they do a sequel, I like to see sequels too, in the background of like the off issue 1 with Raph. But no, man, I'm really just can't wait to issue 5 to come out to read it. I'm excited for it.
So you must be a Raph guy then, huh?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so a whole bunch of them going around, so it's all right. So,
No.
and Jason, you're we've already discussed that. So I'm the Leo guy, and Scott's
my son's
the
Leo
Donnie.
too. Well, my son goes back and forth with Raph and Leo. He's one day he's Raph, one day he's Leo. So
I had a guest on who's a good friend of the show, Miles from the Best Darn Diddley Simpsons podcast, and he says, "You're a Leo fan?" He's like, "Who hurt you? And are you a cop?" And then I'm like, it ain't like that. It ain't like that.
There's that cover you're talking about.
Yes, yeah. See, it's beautiful cover.
It is.
Okay, I was getting that one confused with. There's one similar to that where I think it was like maybe it was a different issue, but it was like the panels. Mm-hmm. Had like panels like that. I feel
but I was thinking. I mean,
I know the one you're talking about, Jason, because I have that one.
That one's awesome, though. Yeah.
And so much fun things. So what about you guys? I don't know who wants to go next, but what are we expecting from issue 5? What do we think is going to happen? Any predictions?
Has anybody seen Cowboy Bebop?
The live action or the regular?
The anime.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go out like that, like Spike storming the castle.
Oh, and then we just well, they made a movie. I mean,
hey man, that's what I envision. When I read it, I'm gonna just go in blank, but when I see it, I just think of the Ronin going in and just going all out and just having an epic showdown. And maybe leaving it open ended if he survives or not. I kind of like that idea. That way nothing's held concrete. Do
you think he's going to survive?
Do I? I want him to. I don't. I think we'll see his death, but that's just me. I just feel like, I don't know. That's just my gut feeling.
We've seen a lot of death. So, I mean, between like the other 4 characters that have died, I mean, they're like 5 if you count, because you got Casey, Leo, Raph, Don, and Splinter. That's a lot right there. That's a lot to digest. If anything else happens, it's got to be significant. It's got to move the story.
To die.
You want him to? Okay.
I want him to die, but with the sequels, I really don't think they will. But I wish he goes out with Blaze of Glory kind of thing. But
right,
like Young Guns.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you. I don't get the feeling that they would. Like, they know they have a cash cow and all that, but I don't think that's what the motivation is, since they've waited this long on the story. I think that if there's more stories to tell in this universe, they will. But I think they have a great idea of where they want to go as a story. And if he was going to die, he was always going to die. So that's how it's going to be. I did see on one of the interviews with Kevin was that he did say a couple times that they were up in the air on who they wanted the Ronin to be. He's always been consistent on how it always, was going to be Mikey. But I have a feeling, and if I ever talk to him again, like when we talk to him again, we'll see if there's any sort of wavering on this. But I have a feeling that it may have changed a little bit through some conversations. But I'm with you. I can see it going both ways there, Jason. And if he does die, because it seems like they've got the integrity to tell the story the way they wanted to tell it. And they've got the audience by the balls. So it's like they're going to,
I think the sequels we'll get aren't going to be sequels. They'll be prequels. Like what happened that with them jumping Splinter that set Raph off. Like I could see them micro-seriesing it again. Like what led up to Baxter coming to the compound to take Fugitoid. from Leo and the gang. You know, like what happened to Mike after all that happened? You know, what happened to April? Like I see that's the kind of sequels I see. I don't really see this being the final end to this saga, and then we get these little like background books of like what led to that kind of thing.
Because wondering,
like so much plot holes to me.
And you're absolutely consistent with what you said from the beginning about those.
Yeah.
So, I'm with you. They're not even plot holes so much as gaps.
Right.
It's headcanon.
More like gaps. I don't mean to like criticize the writing. Just like, especially since they have so much to put in a tiny amount of space, you know. Yeah. I mean, I know we're getting 48 pages, but we're still, you know, like it's still a limited amount of storytelling.
And I mean, we can see from like these books how much they've actually cut out and how much they have like built into it. It's like, oh wow, should there have been more with the Sinja characters? Like I don't know, you know, but now I kind of want to find out. Be like, wow, Baxter's grunts, that's pretty sick, you know. So do any of these characters in the Resistance have any stories to tell or anything? So, you know, that's kind of the fun part. Well, now I've got a fan theory here because we were talking about that really cool tank, right? And you know, the tank's cool. We've got April driving the tank. April is super tech savvy. She's got a messed up arm and she's got a messed up leg that are both bionic and all that. There's not much left at this point. Do we see April die saving Casey Marie Jones to push her character along?
Yes.
I think that's a smart play. It's the last significant death. There's nobody else besides the Ronin that could die because they're not going to kill Casey Marie Jones.
Yeah, I think Casey will survive. But
I think she has to. They would not have said that she's got enhanced healing unless it's going to come back. And she's going to get either stabbed by Hiroto or something else, like some like mortal wound that would have killed a regular person. So, yeah, but I'm in agreement. Like that's my prediction that something's going to happen to April because she's the only one whose death would be significant at this point.
Right.
And so we haven't decided if the Ronin's going to die. I think he dies. I'm going to say that. I think he dies at the end, and we get something about how, you know, he wasn't the last after all, because now, you know, Splinter's book's going to get picked up by Casey Marie. That's my prediction. So, and I hope it doesn't happen, because then someone listens to this and is like, he friggin' ruined it. But it's just like, how nice would that tie up? You know, like the samurai walking off into the sun or something like that, like one of those old movies. You know, it's like, it would be a satisfying ending, like eating a big steak dinner, and you're like, yeah, that was good.
Closure.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's all we're looking for.
Closure would be nice.
But you, Eric, what do you think? Any predictions?
Oh, I mean, if the reality prediction that I have is, yes, I feel like the Ronin dies. April, yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, she's going to end up going. And it's like Jason said, you know, I think they're going to go with the whole prequel, and I think they're going to do a micro series with Casey Marie, which that'll be the sequel. And now, me wanting to be me, I'm thinking that, you know, I'll also think about Honeycutt, about him being the virus, and there's this big explosion, and they go back to the time, and all the turtles are back together.
Oh wow!
That's.
Yeah, I remember time travel being on the table for a little bit.
Damn.
That's a really interesting thought, and I mean it's in the system. Like, we can't hear your voice, Eric.
Hang on.
There you go. I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the whole, I don't know where you guys left off at. I don't know what you
said. You said something about time travel and Honeycutt.
Yeah, like the whole thing with the virus, because we all know that the virus is spreading around and all this other stuff. And then next thing you know, there's a big old explosion. They go back in time and everything's all good. And then they, you know, Mikey knows the future type thing. So, I mean, that would be cool. That'd be cool because Raphael's back, but then it wouldn't happen.
See, my thing is
that's
with Casey Marie, with her healing power she got, I feel like if the Ronin does die, or he's going to be really badly, she's going to use her blood on him the healing, and then he's going to be like, I don't think he'll ever be able to battle again, but he's going to be like how Splinter was to them. He's going to be like her
Oh,
Splinter.
that's interesting too. Yeah. So he, the student becomes the master. That's an absolutely satisfying ending. I think, yeah, you're right. Maybe he gets hobbled or crippled or something in a point. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's going to use her blood to bring him back to, something. Maybe not
that
fully,
would
but
kind of mimic the Dark Knight Returns, since they're heavy on that with everything, like making you think he died, but the healing, the blood healed him, so he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as they don't get married, because that's what happened in Dark Knight. As long as Casey Marie Jones and the Ronin do not get married, I will be satisfied. So
they have turtle babies.
That happened, in
Frank Miller's
Dark Knight Returns. Strikes again.
All right, we're going way out left field on this one right now.
Yeah, nobody consulted Frank Miller, thank God. So it's like he's like, oh man, that's such a weird choice.
Babies.
Yeah,
but other than that part, what we were talking about, but no, I think the ending's going to be he's going to become the master, and she's a student. And after the battle, he's going to be either dead or severely injured, and her blood's what brings him back.
Nice.
So
that's good. That's very like it's very like Wolverine too. Kind of like that sort of character arc. And there's been like Logan, like with the movie Logan, where he ends up being like a caretaker or something like that, but he's like he's not as quick as he was, and his claws don't come out. So maybe the Ronin could be kind of like that character, and then or even like a Batman Beyond, where it's like you're the guy in the chair now instead of being the person out there, and then Casey Marie will be the person out there. Like any of those, like that's a really good pickup. I like that. So I can see in my mind's eye, just the turtle ghosts reuniting, with Michelangelo. So I can see that too. So I don't know. I hope I see stuff, but I don't know. Now I kind of like Travis's ending.
Yeah.
What's that?
I want to see stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm excited to see any of this. I know Baxter's dead, right, guys? Like there's no thoughts that Baxter's coming back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Baxter's done.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of a MacGuffin, like a red herring where they're like, oh, Baxter here. And I mean,
here.
We were saying that, we thought Oroko Hiroto was going to be kind of like a fake smokescreen behind who like the real bad guy was and all that. But now I don't know, after reading number 4, it's kind of like that didn't happen. But he's also insane, and he may off himself. Like he slipped on a raining, girder and almost died. And luckily he was picked up by one of Baxter's things. Like, we still need you, you moron. So like he is absolutely unhinged. So
I took that like that was on purpose.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. He's got some psychological issues.
Robot picked him up on purpose. I feel like we're going to get a big reveal of this robot in the next issue. But yeah, I think he's insane.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe Karai might come back and be like the sequel bad guy or something.
Oh, that's interesting too, because she's been in stasis at this point for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So, that's, I don't know what they could do. It's not Futurama. So,
What a perfect time for it.
Anything's possible.
Yeah. That was great.
That's where the honeycut, the tribe handling comes in play from Eric's. Karai's back.
Well, you never know. They've done that on the TV series with Donatello, and they've done that in the IDW series with Donatello, where he comes back as a robot. So, we know that that's in their wheelhouse that they can do. We've seen Ghost with Ghostbusters. They've done that. We've seen Aliens. We've seen Triceratons. There's all kinds of stuff. Like I'm still saying we could see a Neutron at some point. Like we never know. We could find out that someone was really an alien all along. We have no idea. But it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. I'm going to be waiting at probably 1 a.m. when I can download the thing from Comixology so I can read it. So Jason, did they give you do you get an advanced copy for review or anything?
I wish.
Yeah.
Our variants probably won't come until after the release of the issue, so I'm gonna have to go out just like everyone else and pick up a copy and read it, so I know what's going on before I get my variants at least.
No special privileges. Come on.
I'm pissed. We have a
I went to the
listener.
Lexington. I went to the Lexington Comic Con and Ben was there, so I hung out with Ben like the whole day Saturday. I'm like, so Ben, I heard you had the issue 5 that Kevin sent to you.
Right.
Kind of he's dropping. He's like, nah, I can't do it. It's like, damn.
He's like, he could tell you what happened anyway because he drew it. It's like he drew a good portion of it, I imagine.
Yeah, well, Kevin sent him like the final thing where he can read the start to finish on issue 5. I was like, so let's get like a little hint. Like, no. He's like, well, but I will show you how y'all was talking about the Playmate toys that he's doing. I guess he's doing 6 of them in the boxes, like all of the boxes, like his connecting covers, the toys will connect to.
Nice.
Cool.
So, do you have an idea then of who else is going to be in on that? Because I'm guessing Casey Marie, April, and Hiroto.
The toys. You talking about the Playmate toys?
So these are the turtles then. So his style turtles.
Yeah, the Playmate toys. He's doing. I guess they're doing like the first wave is 6 toys of his, and all 6 of the boxes, like the side of the boxes, they all connect.
Like Marvel Legends, maybe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
like his connecting
so friggin'
covers,
broke.
I just did. Like the issue 5 connecting covers, they have like 6 of them that connect on the Playmate toys.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't even know. I mean, between like all this stuff, it's like I already dropped $1,600 on the statue. I just don't know. Yeah. It was not a good decision, but I'm sticking to it. So it was an impulsive decision, but
what was it?
$1,600.
Cool.
So yeah. Sideshow sure got me. And they're like, oh, and we're releasing another one for $800. I'm like, you sons of
biscuits.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about this one too, I know we were talking about this, that it has the ghosts on it from what appears to be like the Aaron Bartling cover. The Ronin design himself looks just like Mike Ruth's. Like that's who he looks. I'm like, wow. Like he's got like kind of like that pronounced beak and all that. Like he looks like Ruth drew him. So it's kind of interesting. So I'm like, oh, I know those guys. So
art thief.
Art thief, he said about the sideshows. Yeah. So it's how it is, man. I'm what can we do?
It's unfortunate, man. I mean, you got some really, really talented artists, but
I hope that if nothing else, people take notice of these covers and they're given more opportunities. So with that, we're running a little bit long, so I've still got to get to our pizza recipe and all that. I wanted to ask Jason first, because I know you've got some big stuff going on. Can you tell the folks just where they can find you, where they can find your work, and if you can allude to if you have anything else that you can talk about that you're working on coming up?
Yeah, sure. So you can find me online, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's just Jason Flowers Art, all one word. And then my website where you can pre-order my variants for Ninja Turtles Last Ronin are jasonflowersart.bigcartel.com. And then what I got going on right now is I'm working on my creator-owned book, Bounty Bullfrog, issue 2 right now. Issue 1's on my website, and then this weekend I will be in South Carolina Comic-Con for that show, and then 2 weeks later Huntsville Comic Expo, where Kevin Eastman will be.
Oh, awesome!
I'm thinking about going to that one because it's like 4.5 hours from me.
Yeah.
So like really tempting. Yeah, I'm in Indiana, so it's like
okay.
I'm really debating on going to that one.
That's awesome, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to your book there, Bounty Bullfrog. The pages look amazing, especially the underwater stuff. Mr. Scott Cromer, I know you got something going on we should be talking about. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your Chrome Comics?
Well, you can find us on Facebook, or you can find us at Amalgamania/Chrome Comics on the internet. We're going to be at the Hagerstown Comic Con, 4th State Comic Con in Hagerstown, April 30th and May 1st. So we got that coming up. Hopefully more cons to come.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I've definitely bought some stuff from you in the past. You guys do awesome. Your shipping was super fast, so that was one of those things. So and they grade comics too. So if
Graded.
you know, he's a good guy to talk to about getting stuff graded. Knows all about it. I'm a big fan. I'm a customer of both of you guys. Travis, anywhere that you want folks to find you to have a conversation about Ninja Turtles?
Hell, you can find me on Epic Shelves, any Last Ronin groups.
Hell yeah, right answer. That's why he's my new favorite. So you check him out in the Epic Shelves group.
Yeah, Epic Shelves group. I'm in there.
And
you got a new hype man.
He's got what?
You got a
new hype man? I'm gonna get you a big clock to put around your neck. So
hey, I'll rock it too.
Nice. And Eric, where do you like folks interacting with you?
Well, obviously, any of the TMNT groups, obviously, Epic Shows is the #1 group that you can really, really find me in. I'm always in there. But, anyways, I mean, anybody can find me on Facebook. I mean, they can just literally just shoot me a message. Eric will, I'm always out there willing to help any TMNT fan find something or know something or just anything. I'm here for any TMNT fan. So I got IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles group that I run, and obviously Epic Shows, part of the Last Ronin ones, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
1984 or 87?
84.
Yeah,
I think like 84, 85, 86, 87.
Forever. And it's like forever, and it's like there's like 20-some thousand people in there, and like I'm on there every once in a while too. So I mean,
there's a lot of us out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Flowers has a Facebook group too. I'm in that one too. You can find me in.
Yeah, the art one.
The art one, his art squad. Yep, a part of that one too.
Announce that one.
Yeah, no, good call, Travis. With
many things, there's so many things. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Thank you.
It's just like variants of the Ronin.
As for myself, folks, as you listen to this, I just want to give one shout out for someone who couldn't be here tonight because he was getting some surgery and just recovering from it. But shout out to our friend of the show, Mr. Rob Denner, Mr. X-Files himself, since X-Files was brought up. He wanted to be on. He couldn't just because of the schedule and all that. But, I hope you're doing well, buddy. We'll catch up with you sometime. Otherwise, you can check us out in Epic Shells, the Facebook group. The Epic Tales from the Sewers is a member of the Dorkening Podcast Network. You can check out our other fine shows. You'll hear the ads after the pizza recipe. So you can check those out and check out the dorkening.com, as well as the Splash Pages Comic Book Club, where you can actually see some of the articles and turtle and non-turtle related things. So with that, I want to thank everybody for being here. These are so much fun to do. And I love the directions that we go into, and it's really my head spinning from some of these predictions. It's pretty cool. But until next time, thanks everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And we will be right back with our pizza recipe for the episode.
Hi, this is Adam, a.k.a. Casey Jones from Casey Jones Livewire, and you're listening to Epic Tales from the Sewers. Time for a knuckle sandwich, punk.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time.
Hey everyone, after that preview for Last Ronin and hearing about some of the pizza selections, I decided to go with 4 cheese for 4 bros because of the 4 bros that we had on. So this is the recipe. Once, to snap the turtles out of a bummer mood, Master Splinter brought them a pizza topped with 99 different cheeses. Of course it did the trick. This isn't gnarly, but it's a start. The 4 cheese for 4 bros pizza. Ingredients: cornmeal, for flour for dusting, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, plus more for drizzling and greasing. 1 large garlic clove, pressed or grated. 1 pound ball pizza dough, homemade or store-bought. Fine sea salt and freshly ground black pepper. 1/2 cup shredded low moisture mozzarella. 1/4 cup shredded Monterey Jack cheese. 1/2 cup ricotta cheese. 3 tablespoons grated Parmesan cheese. 1 tablespoon chopped fresh parsley leaves. Instructions. On a baking stone or with a steel pizza peel, place your baking stone in the middle rack of the oven and preheat to 500 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 30 minutes. Dust the pizza peel or inverted baking sheet with cornmeal or flour. On a baking sheet, preheat the oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit with a rack in the middle position. Lightly coat the heavy-duty rimmed baking sheet with olive oil. Step 1. In a small bowl, stir together the olive oil and garlic. Set aside to marinate for 15 minutes. Step 2. Stretch or roll the dough out into a 12-inch disc and place it on the prepared pizza peel or baking sheet. Step 3. Brush the dough all over with some garlic oil and make sure that you get it all the way to the edges. Step 4. Season with salt and pepper. Scatter the mozzarella and jack cheeses all over with the ricotta and the Parmesan all over the top. Step 5. Shimmy the dough from the peel onto the hot baking stone or transfer to the baking sheet in the oven. Step 6. Bake the pizza for 8 to 15 minutes until the crust is golden brown and the cheese is beginning to blister in spots. Step 7. Remove the pizza from the oven, season with a light drizzle of olive oil, and sprinkle with parsley. Let it chill at room temperature for 5 minutes, then slice and serve. This has been your pizza time. 4 cheese for 4 bros. Cowabunga, dudes! Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, or Nickelodeon Studios. This podcast is a member of the Dorkening Podcast Network. Check out thedorkening.com for other podcasts. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper and Eric Will.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music, pants, quoting video games that don't have dialogues, shabibans, tasty news,
unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia,
butt breathers, uncomfortable nature facts,
or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Reductopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we?
We sure do. So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Reductopus is part of the Dorkening and Inebriar podcast networks, with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher,
or any podcast player cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all things that make growing up awesome.